Good evening, everybody. I hope you're all doing fantastically well. It's Connor here. We're back with another One Leeds episode. Hope you're all doing really, really well. I hope you've not had a tough day. Make sure you check out the video from earlier on today, a spicy video about a certain winger on loan. It's well worth the watch. In the comments in the section below, I've read all of them today, and wow, it does turn heads, does turn opinions, which I absolutely love on this channel. It's all about discussion, debate, and subjectivity. So before we start this particular video, please make sure you're liking, please make sure you're commenting and subscribing always to the One Leeds Fan Channel. Let's get into it. So as you can probably see by the thumbnail, everybody, we are discussing the Ellen Road expansion, the 49ers plan. What are they doing in terms of the infrastructure at Ellen Road? Let me just give a broad overview of what is the issue at Ellen Road right now. It's probably facility-wise, it's a very dated stadium. I do look at it in comparisons, I should say, to a Goodison and a Hillsborough. It's very much of a similar like. It's not been touched for many a year now, and you do think, aside from really the mid-90s, Leeds haven't really done much to Ellen Road in the modern era. Obviously, Leeds have been out of the top flight for around about 16 years prior. The fantastic seasons with Marcelo Bielsa's that got us back to the promised land. However, aside from that, it's been a really, really neglected part of Leeds United. And the 49ers have come in, and as we've seen with their stadium, the Levi Stadium, with the San Francisco 49ers, Paragon and co have managed to really, really develop that into something superb, really, a state-of-the-art stadium over in the States, and something that Leeds can really aspire to replicate. And they are the perfect people who have really been brought in to improve that infrastructure and improve Leeds United as a globalised brand. So Leeds have a very, very busy festive period, as we know, and it's going to be quite pivotal when we're looking at the Whites' future when it comes to the top two. Now, why is this very, very important? Well, because it's very, very relative to what's going on in terms of this stadium expansion. And we'll get into that in just a second, but the festive period is going to be a tricky one for Leeds. Trips to Preston, West Bromwich Albion, but the main one is at the weekend at home to Ipswich Town. And it's been a real tricky period for Leeds United over the past 2 years. It's been manager after manager after manager, poor decision after poor decision after poor decision, poor player after poor player after poor player coming into the club, and it's really been mismanaged. So it does feel, after Leeds United have been relegated after so many batterings last season, that it's going to take a real amount of time for Leeds United fans to be able to properly get back to what they once were. And when I say what they once were, Leeds fans are still absolutely fantastic. Away from home, they're still excellent. You can hear them through the TV. And even at home, they're absolutely fantastic. You can hear that through the TV. However, what I will say is it's interesting from people at the ground, or speaking to people at the ground, who've said that it's turned a little bit flat. And alongside that as well, there's a lot of Leeds fans who want us to see us get closer to that top two. At this moment in time, 10 and 12 points, it feels like, well, are we actually going to be able to catch those? And maybe that's affecting the atmosphere as well. But the reason I'm talking about this right now, everybody, is because the 49ers plan, or their plans, I should say, is to build Ellen Road from a 37,000 capacity stadium to a 55,000 seater capacity stadium, which is massive. It is a massive upheaval. We spoke on the channel not long ago at, can Leeds United even fill that? Can Leeds United fill that? And this is why it's very interesting talking about the top two and where Leeds United are at right now, because obviously Leeds can still go up through the playoffs. Even if we were to finish third, you know, we have the third best team in the division. We have an opportunity to go through the playoffs, even though we never want to do that as Leeds United fans. However, you know, that is definitely a prospect for Leeds. But why this is an interesting topic of conversation is because the 49ers are not going to increase Ellen Road. They'll do bits and bats here and there when it comes to the facilities at the ground, but there's no way they're going to do that when it comes to increasing Leeds to a 55,000 capacity seat stadium in the Championship. There is an argument, and let me know in the comment section below, do you guys think that if we got to the Premier League, we'd be able to fill a 55,000 seat stadium? I personally think that we would be able to do that. There was a mass amount of people on the season ticket waiting list when we were in the Premier League. I don't know if that's changed right now, but apparently there was 20 to 25,000 on the season ticket waiting list when Ellen Road was being packed out week in, week out. But the golden nugget here is the Premier League. Now, where this is interesting is Leeds United have recently appointed a chief operating officer in Morris Eisenberg, who really helped the 49ers when it came to them developing the Levi Stadium, and was one of the focal points, really, in the 49ers being able to do it so quickly and so efficiently. According to Phil Hay and other major outlets, Leeds United have spoken to many architectural firms in the city, and one architectural firm is apparently hugely interested in developing these concrete plans that Leeds United have to expand the stadium. Leeds United's apparent worth when we were in the Premier League was 500 million, but if Leeds United were to increase that capacity from 37,000 to 55,000, the commercialisation would be massive within the club. We've spoken about the globalisation as well. That would potentially value Leeds at 650 million if they were to make these changes. Right at the beginning, the 49ers had essentially said that they also wanted to develop on Thorpe Arch and make that into a state-of-the-art complex, a training complex that would attract many, many players. However, now they have fully pledged, I should say, into developing that Elland Road Stadium from 37 to 55,000, and that is where the focus lies. I think the beauty of what Parag says not long ago was the fact that he didn't want to take away the culture, the history and the tradition of Elland Road. He didn't want to take away that atmosphere, and I think that's key when you're looking at Leeds as a city. Elland Road is somewhat of a church. It's a place where people can go and find comfort and support their team after a hard week's work. I think doing a ridiculous thing like moving Elland Road somewhere else when it has such build-up ability around Elland Road, so much space, I think that would be absolutely ridiculous when it comes to an architectural standpoint, but also when it comes to the fans having a place, a sanctuary where they can support their team. Let's be honest, when Elland Road is absolutely bouncing and everything is going on around Elland Road, it's hostile. And let's say we look at 25 odd years ago when Leeds United were in a very good position in the Premier League, teams hated coming to Elland Road, and that was evidenced by Alex Ferguson and Gary Neville saying that it was the most hostile ground Man United would ever visit. Now, Daniel Plumley, football expert, was speaking on the redevelopment of Elland Road and saying, you know, when you look at Spurs, when you look at Everton in particular, the Bramley Moor development's a really good example. This costs tens of millions of pounds. Leeds just cannot simply do that in the Championship. Leeds have to be part of the Premier League 20 to be able to get that revenue, to be able to get that commercialism as a consequence, and obviously, you know, expand Leeds United as a club globally. So many eyes are on, you know, the city and everything else when it comes to Leeds United. So it's absolutely essential that the 49ers get Leeds United back to the Premier League as quickly as possible. It brings up another conversation about Daniel Farke. I personally think Daniel Farke's doing a good job at this moment in time, but the pressure is certainly on the Leeds United boss to get this club back to the Premier League. Guys, what do you think about this whole topic? Do you think that this is absolutely essential for Leeds United to move into a new stadium? Do you think the pressure is on Daniel Farke to get Leeds back at the first time of asking? Really interested to hear what you guys think. Check on over at the Patreon, everybody, if you want some bonus content. Got some podcasts over there, which I think you'll really enjoy. We've got a video from earlier on as well, which will just be on the video after this. Make sure you're enjoying your evening, everybody. We'll be back as well tomorrow with more content and the debrief. I'll see you in a bit.